February 13th, 2026. Exclusive report. Inside Buckingham Palace. The silence is broken. The manipulation ends now. On the 13th of February, 2026, the palace released an unprecedented emergency bulletin, clapping back with absolute authority against what sources are calling Meghan Markle's worldwide implosion strategy a chaotic storm of allegations, shadow threats, and rising finger-pointing directed at the monarchy, all while a massive wave of foreign prohibitions hits her business and creative ventures. This marks the firm's most aggressive pushback regarding Meghan's behavior since Sussex's departure back in 2020. It doesn't just slam her recent claims as groundless and risky, it lays bare the sheer scale of the wreckage from a growing controversy that has hit critical mass diplomatically, financially, and reputationally across Dubai, France, Canada, and elsewhere. Right in the middle of this blaze is an allegation from Meghan's team that the royal family masterminded a systematic plot to ruin her professional life. In a window of only 10 days between February 2nd and the 12th of February, 2026, Meghan Markle watched her empire crumble live, with 4 key nations either officially outlawing her business and creative operations or initiating silent blacklists away from the public eye. We aren't talking about criminal charges here, but rather corporate and state-level rulings linked to commerce, heritage, and press protocols, pointing to multiple violations of industry norms, broken consumer confidence, and the exploitation of royal iconography. On February 3rd, the United Arab Emirates Ministry of Culture and Economy formally pulled the permits connected to Meghan's lifestyle and apparel label, as ever, alleging false claims regarding state partnerships in their marketing, assets, breaching GCC rules regarding political impartiality and high-end advertising, plus undocumented offshore income routing through influencer marketing tactics. On February 6th, the Canada Revenue Agency, CRA, and the British Columbia Film Board released matching announcements halting all work with Archewell Media Canada, citing missing paperwork required by Canada's laws for non-resident creative organizations, alleged hidden overseas payments, and lacking intellectual property records. Deals were scrapped by the CBC, Netflix Canada, and Rogers Media. France jumped in on February 8th with the media regulator Arcom, confirming that termination notices were forwarded to Vogue France, which had an April 2026 cover slated, the LVMH conglomerate, which silently ended a trial perfume deal, while Chanel and Hermès verified the withdrawal of every Markle-related catalog. Singapore and Japan, while holding back on official prohibitions, have started internal audits of franchising deals linked to As Ever candles and home goods. Stores like Isetan in Tokyo and Tang's in Singapore have pulled Meghan-branded products from every flagship location. The trade monitor Art Compliance Asia and the European Independent Ethical Fashion Bureau, IEFB, have marked As Ever and Archewell Connected launches for possible misleading advertising, highlighting the fuzzy boundaries between self-promotion, royal imagery, and international cash grab tactics. On the night of February 10th, Meghan's head of communications strategist, Rena Walsh, dropped a shocking 2-minute clip headlined, "The Targeting of a Woman Who Tried to Make Change." In the footage posted to Instagram, Threads, and Spotify, Meghan declared, "This isn't regarding forms or licenses. This is about control. A synchronized operation is happening from London to Dubai to Ottawa to wipe me out, professionally, culturally, and personally. And we know precisely who is pulling the strings." Although she didn't mention Prince William by name, she hinted at people whose destiny relies on keeping quiet, condemning the same institution that loved my smile and now turns my life into a weapon. Her video came with a PDF dossier detailing scrapped magazine, contracts, denied trademark applications, and ghosted texts from past backers. But the spark that really ignited the powder keg was the bombshell concluding section, claiming secret talks and hushed intimidation tactics were coming from the highest levels. And while I have honored limits, I won't let anyone edit my narrative anymore, even if that means revealing what they have attempted to hide, including the events in the Balearics, summer 2016. To sources near Buckingham Palace, that was the instant the war really started. Mentioning the Balearics in 2016 sent tremors through royal security networks. Meghan's camp seemed to imply they held never-before-seen photos of Prince William supposedly snapped on a secluded Mediterranean boat, hinting at bad behavior. However, mere hours after this, barely disguised warning, Kensington Palace retaliated with total openness. By February 11th, Prince James of Edinburgh, dubbed the palace's new crisis manager following Harry's departure, convened a private meeting with top UK political journalists, presenting a signed and notarized travel log proving Prince William was actually in Kenya starting in July. It was 10:22 a.m. in 2016, and he was at a UN climate summit in Nairobi. We have official diplomatic logs from Kenya, hotel security footage, and news clippings that prove exactly where he was every single day during that disputed window. MI5's security team even released an independent verification confirming he never strayed from the schedule. Fast forward to February 13th, 2026. That's when the royal family dropped one of their harshest, most coordinated responses ever, sent out by the Buckingham Palace press team and blasted across every official feed. It stated, "The Crown absolutely rejects any claims that we interfered in Miss Meghan Markle's international business or cultural deals." It continued, "We also shut down these fake and damaging hints about past bad behavior by His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales." The message was clear: made-up threats, blackmail schemes, and weaponizing personal drama for leverage won't be tolerated. The institution insists it is sticking to its values of openness, neutrality, and protecting its constitutional role. They emphasize that not a single royal has tried to sway foreign governments regarding licensing or cultural rulings. Along with the statement, they released sworn affidavits and timelines, an aggressive new stance that totally pivots away from the quiet, backroom deals the firm usually uses to handle scandal. But looking past the forceful vibe of that February 13th declaration, there was a fast-moving, high-level legal game plan put together by Sir Malcolm Wessex, the top royal attorney, and Prince James of Edinburgh. With Harry gone, James is basically viewed as the main protector of the Windsor legacy. The minute Meghan dropped her statement on February 10th, complete with those shadowy warnings, and the notorious mention of Bailey 2016, Sir Malcolm set up a secret war room right inside the chambers at Clarence House. The room was packed with pros, Crown prosecution reps handling protocol, GCHQ cyber experts checking for data hacks, and 2 Foreign Office envoys figuring out the global fallout. The whole plan hinged on 2 main goals. First, tear apart Meghan's story so it wouldn't hold up in court while keeping the family's image intact. Second, shut down any blackmail attempts before they went viral worldwide. Sir Malcolm didn't waste time, slapping a legal warning on Meghan's American lawyers by February 11th. He demanded she take back every lie about the royals sabotaging her money or diplomatic status. He also demanded she show the photos she hinted at regarding Balearic 2016, including the digital timestamps, and wanted a written explanation by February 14th. If not, they would sue for defamation in both British and Canadian courts. Dragging Canadian courts into this wasn't random either. Palace insiders say Meghan's financial troubles are partly tied to Ontario businesses linked to the Archewell Foundation Canada, which the Revenue Agency is currently auditing. Sir Malcolm's play basically connects her business failures directly to her conspiracy theories about the royals, meaning she'd have to testify under oath if she keeps pushing. While Malcolm handled the heavy legal lifting, Prince James stepped up to handle the public proof. He's known for being sharp and detail-oriented, so James managed the release of William's 2016 travel records, briefed a few journalists off the process, record at Lancaster House, and greenlit the release of financial audits proving not a dime of Crown money went to foreign officials to hurt Meghan. As James reportedly told his staff, when silence is used as a weapon, the only defense is evidence. The press is now calling him the Palace Firewall, seeing him as the guy, filling the gap left when Prince Harry walked away from his duties. With this aggressive legal and corporate strategy, the royals have backed Meghan into a corner. She either backs down or faces lawsuits on 2 continents. From Paris to Vancouver and the Middle East to the Pacific, she is basically being ghosted. By the time the palace put out that statement on February 13th, Meghan's brand was already toasted globally. Her career as an influencer and producer was wrecked. What started as rumors about regulatory issues had turned into a complete shutout in every industry fashion: high-end retail, digital media, and wellness. And it wasn't just governments causing trouble. The whole private sector ran for the hills. To the public, the exits looked like bad luck. One brand didn't renew a contract. Another pushed back a launch. A third cited creative clashes. But Royal Confidential has verified through deep cover operatives and leaked paperwork that corporations moved in sync not due to conspiracy, but strategic separation. Come February 6th, Vogue France killed Meghan's slated April front page, even though the spread was shot and wrapped back in early January. Over at LVMH, the board voted behind closed doors to kill any tentative brand deal discussions. One insider pointed to her volatile reputation as the reason Chanel, who formerly entertained a partnership for potential perfume lines, released a quiet legal statement clarifying the situation. There is absolutely no active contract or commercial tie-in with Miss Markle. Up north, Canada cited artistic grounds for their retreat. Netflix Canada, previously a co-producer on segments for Archewell Audio, officially axed a scheduled documentary series focused on health and personal rebranding, blaming licensing headaches. Both Rogers Media and CBC Gem slapped bans on airing any of Meghan's back catalog, noting worries over murky regulations after the Archewell Foundation Canada was flagged by the CRA during a February 5th audit. The Canadian Council for Artistic Integrity silently added Meghan to a non-endorsed roster. While that isn't a criminal label, it effectively kills any chance at grants and makes booking venues a nightmare. Tang, Singapore, and Takashima, Tokyo verified to trade officials that every single ASE item had been pulled from both brick-and-mortar shelves and online shops by February 7th. According to internal compliance paperwork seen by the Asia Export Journal, Meghan's label was marked as high risk for brand confusion with established institutions because she kept using British royal imagery. However, the hardest hit came straight from Dubai's Ministry of Culture and Economy, enacting a total blackout on Meghan's business dealings. On February 3rd, authorities triggered Article 9 of the UAE Foreign Branding Act, ruling that her health and perfume marketing was in breach of strict political neutrality codes. A hush-hush internal brief leaked to the Gulf Media Group pointed out that constantly mixing monarchy symbols with political hot takes destabilizes the clean trade and cultural reputation required for commercial arts. Several industry players, speaking on background, backed up that exact view. The issue isn't just that Meghan attracts negative headlines, it is that she erases the boundary between royal fame and political agitation. As one luxury brand CEO put it, "We partner with movie stars, charity leaders, and even polarizing social media figures. But the second government officials start inquiring if we background checked our partner's geopolitical ties. We bail. A talent rep from Europe chimed in. She represents a triple threat: legal, reputational, and institutional. Everybody is retreating, not out of personal malice, but because they are terrified of getting sucked into a constitutional crisis. Royal Confidential has pinned this pivot on 3 specific catalysts. The Epstein documents unsealed on January 27th, which, while not containing criminal charges, held unsettling narrative. Details regarding Meghan's past social network. Those files sent shockwaves through the boardrooms of luxury brands around the globe. Then came the Archewell Foundation's Canadian audit, released February 2nd, exposing possible gaps between grant payouts and promotional spending. Finally, Meghan's personal video dropped on February 10th, where she blamed anonymous palace operatives for engineering her collapse. That subtle threat targeting William regarding the Balearic files struck many executives as dangerous blackmail tactics. Combined, these incidents persuaded risk assessment teams across industries that sticking with Meghan Markle was indefensible to shareholders or regulatory bodies. Even media outlets that usually support her are pivoting. People magazine axed a planned Valentine's Day spread. The New York Times style section, which previously hyped Meghan's candle debut in December 2025, ran a harsh critique of celebrity wellness brands. It didn't name her, but the reference was obvious, calling her products aromatically baffled and ethically murky. Vanity Fair, historically a pillar of Meghan's PR strategy, swapped out a full-page feature for a last-minute Fashion Week summary. What we are watching isn't just a dip in influence. It is a systemic breakup. Meghan Markle has morphed into a liability across entertainment, retail, and pop culture, not due to one specific broken law, but because showing up with her invites the kind of microscope no brand desires. If I go down, I'm taking somebody with me. That is an alleged text from Meghan Markle, dated February 11, 2026. As the walls close in on Meghan Markle's worldwide empire, her game plan has switched to escalation. What started as self-defense has morphed into a full-tilt scorched earth operation. It is filled with undertones of blackmail, hidden vaults, and radioactive personal documents, supposedly implicating top-tier royals, particularly Prince William. However, insiders within Buckingham Palace, along with allied diplomatic and legal teams, are telling Royal Confidential a completely different tale. The Crown has already decoded her strategy, and they are 3 moves ahead. During her February 10th statement, Meghan's sideways glance at the incident in the Balearic Islands during the summer of 2016 sent a cold shiver down the spines of royal watchers. Even though nobody was explicitly named, everyone read between the lines and saw a clear warning shot aimed at Prince William, suggesting someone held damaging snapshots or intel regarding a yacht excursion from 2016, supposedly packed with high-profile names. Based on accounts from several sources, including a pair of former aides from Meghan's pre-monarchy press squad, a dossier has been sitting in her personal records for years. Inside the camp, they call it the archive or the rainy day file. Reports suggest it contains scores of crystal-clear images snapped at European galas between 2013 and 2016, alongside secret audio tapes from initial Archewell strategy sessions and palace training. There are also rumored emails exchanged with unnamed figures outlining media protection, tactics to deploy if Meghan ever felt vulnerable. One ex-employee, who inked a non-disclosure agreement in 2018 but talked off the record, said she operated under the assumption the monarchy would eventually betray her. She curated that stockpile for the moment she required. Some serious bargaining power. Yet, contrary to the gossip, top palace officials seem remarkably calm. The reason? They have likely viewed or diffused the bulk of the content. On February 11th, merely 36 hours following Meghan's thinly veiled warning, Prince James of Edinburgh greenlit the release of Prince William's diplomatic schedule from 2016, confirming he was actually in Kenya during the alleged Balearic affair. The release featured verified flight manifests flying between London and Nairobi, United Nations agendas co-signed by officials, and media shots from various conferences. Plus, a confirmation from the Kenyan Ministry of Environment validating their shared engagements. It is physically impossible to be partying on a boat in Spain while gripping and grinning with UN dignitaries in Kenya, noted royal security expert David Marriman. This rapid and comprehensive clapback dismantled the Balearic storyline before it could blow up. However, the firm did not rest on its laurels. Starting in early 2024, the monarchy has discreetly funded what sources dubbed the Digital Contingency Group, or DCG. This is a mixed task force of XMI5 and G, CHQ, cyber, specialists, Royal Archive guardians, and legal tech experts scanning both open and closed channels for threats to their image or potential extortion. A restricted dossier compiled in January 2026, which Royal Confidential has partly corroborated, catalogs Meghan's probable data cache, categorizing it as legally useless gossip, doctored or unproven photos, and surreptitious audio captures that breach GDPR and American wiretapping statutes. Moreover, several nations now view her personal data stockpile as a possible violation of the law, especially if leveraged to harm organizations or blackmail public servants. As stated by Sir Malcolm Wessex, the head royal attorney, holding on to dubious content is one thing. Circulating it to strong-arm someone pushes the situation into criminal territory. Even with these hazards, reports say Meghan is weighing a calculated media drop through an nameless Substack post written by an old ally, or a ghost-written autobiography provisionally named Unseen and Unbowed, delving into her struggles before the crown and secrets the monarchy wanted hidden. There is also talk of a bear-all sit-down on an global interview program in late March, rumored to be on Al Jazeera or Rai One, networks beyond Ofcom's reach. Sources claim her objective isn't to dismantle the throne, but to highlight its double standards while casting herself as a silenced whistleblower. A cold text supposedly fired off by Meghan's PR guru to a former Vanity Fair. Editor stated, "She isn't attempting to torch the palace. She just plans to ensure it reeks of smoke. The royal family's countermoves are already in motion. They have initiated worldwide surveillance of digital channels for leaks linked to Meghan's circle. They are prepared to file instant restraining orders in the UK, Canada, and the EU to block unauthorized, royal-related content. Simultaneously, Prince James is spearheading a media blitz focused on openness, decorum, and judicial discipline. Crucially, insiders verify that if Meghan moves forward with anything resembling extortion, she could activate global law enforcement treaties regarding cross-border coercion and cyber sabotage. A palace operative summed up the monarchy's stance. The strategy has shifted from defense to offense. The Windsor firewall is active. If she strikes that match, she will be the one choking on the fumes. February 13th, 2026. Royal Confidential. Special investigation. The second she reached for the lighter, everyone else retreated. As Meghan Markle pushes ahead with progressively hostile maneuvers targeting the British monarchy, thinly disguised extortion, public shaming, and quiet murmurs about secret dossiers, The blowback from her formerly staunch allies has started in full force. What used to be an atmosphere of careful allegiance and compassion has quickly turned into calculated silence, abrupt deal cancellations, and a clear industry-wide withdrawal from anything attached to her brand. This pivot is not limited to state officials or aristocrats. It is rippling through Hollywood, the fashion world, nonprofits, and even her old social circle. For a solid run from 2022 through 2024, Meghan Markle was basically untouchable in Los Angeles and New York. She had heavy hitters in her corner: Netflix, Spotify, the entire Oprah Winfrey machine, plus a slew of trendy Hollywood producers. It gave her serious clout as an activist and cultural icon, but that safety net isn't just fraying, it's snapping in plain sight. And there's no fixing it. Take the Netflix situation. On February 8th, the streaming giant finally admitted that the long-rumored Pearl animated project, which got axed back in 2022 but was supposedly being reworked by Archewell Canada, is dead in the water. It's not coming back. An insider at the company spilled the tea, saying that once reports of shady international dealings and government eyes started watching, legal shut it all down. They said they aren't risking court orders over candle sales and shadowy warnings. Then Oprah's camp backed off. Harpo Studios silently scrubbed anything related to Meghan from their 2026 lineup. One high-level producer reportedly told Variety that the narrative shifted. It isn't about lifting people up anymore, it's about a fixation and a total brand collapse. The unions are pushing back, too. A combined memo from the Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA cautioned members about ethical risks if they touch Meghan's upcoming book or documentary projects, especially if the British royals decide to sue. Even her representation at WME, William Morris Endeavor, cut ties on February 9th. They didn't put out a press release, but sources say her profile is gone from the agency's internal system. And this fallout goes way beyond Hollywood. Her standing in the charity world is getting a quiet audit by several nonprofits. World Central Kitchen dropped a statement on February 10th. They thanked Archewell for the old checks, but made it clear there are no active plans to work with the foundation or its founders moving forward. Then there's SmartWorks UK, which used to be touted as her most genuine cause. They updated their strategic plan for 2026 and deleted every mention of working with the Duchess between 2019 and 2021. Insiders say this happened because of worries about staying neutral while all these messy royal rumors are flying around. Even though she wasn't an official ambassador, Meghan's face used to pop up in UN women campaigns. But as of February 12th, her photos have been wiped from their websites and press materials. A rep stated that their work has to stay unbiased and out of political drama. Her squad used to include heavy hitters like Serena Williams, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, Chrissy Teigen, and Tyler Perry. But since her video dropped on February 10th, not a single one of them has shared, liked, or said a word about her allegations or charges. A social media tracking tool showed some brutal numbers. Her post from February 10th saw 42% less interaction than her Archewell anniversary post from 2024, while royal watchers screenshot and shared the controversial quote everywhere. Most verified celeb accounts pretended it didn't exist. An ex-publicist noted that when the algorithm picks up on scandal, brands and influencers vanish, and when that mess involves the monarchy and coercion, silence isn't just a choice, it's company policy. Better Up, the coaching firm Harry is attached to, put out a memo clarifying that Meghan has absolutely no ties to them. Sephora branches in Singapore and Canada have pulled her products off the shelves and said they won't be restocking. Pinterest and Etsy have also blocked paid ads for her digital prints because users complained about fake royal endorsements. Meanwhile, Blue Ivy Ventures, which owns the company behind a planned skincare line with her, filed paperwork to back out, citing unstable reputation risks. All these exits aren't some organized hit job. It's just businesses avoiding radioactive bad press. Several execs and old partners told Royal Confidential that the breaking point wasn't the controversy over the sensitive files or the audit in Canada. It was her choice to claim the palace was running a global sabotage campaign and implying she'd strike back with private documents. One charity board member said, "The second you threaten to trash the Prince of Wales just to rescue your own image, nobody wants to be associated with you. And the heat isn't just coming from the outside. Palace sources and family friends say Prince Harry won't back Meghan's latest claims." He didn't share or mention her comments from February 10th. He was also missing from a planned Archewell Canada meeting on February 1st. Rumor has it he requested private talks with King Charles and Prince Edward to clarify some custody and legal matters. Insiders suggest this silence points to a permanent crack in the Sussex United Front. Once called the next people's princess, Meghan Markle is now staring down. Her luck turned upside down, not due to a courtroom verdict, but because she stepped over an unseen boundary of corporate honor. The crown didn't have to ruin Meghan. Society is doing the heavy lifting simply by refusing to be seen with her. It's not just quiet disapproval, it's the power of the throne. A proclamation from Prince James of Edinburgh when the sun came up over London on February 13, 2026, the royal family signaled that there would be zero more patience, zero gray areas, and absolutely no holding back. The formal bulletin released that morning from Buckingham Palace, signed by legal counsel Sir Malcolm Wessex and Prince James, was far more than just a denial of Meghan Markle's claims. It was a line drawn in cement, effectively slamming the final gate shut. The statement from February 13th established a fresh protocol that insiders are calling the Windsor Boundary Doctrine. It mandates a complete cutting of ties with Meghan Markle starting February 13th, 2026. Every piece of merchandise, media, and content linked to the Sussex brand now faces a compulsory legal audit to check for misuse of royal trademarks. Furthermore, any unproven allegations targeting the monarchy will be instantly forwarded to the Royal Household Legal Division for lawsuits in the UK, Europe, and Canada. While the memo was polite on the surface, it triggered a secret protocol code named Echoance. Run by the Royal Security and Intelligence Liaison Office, this operation starts tracking public media linked to Markle through third parties, watching for foreign political manipulation of her story, and preparing to update Parliament if diplomatic issues arise. Less than 24 hours after the announcement, the Royal Legal Liaison Office had paperwork ready, working with the Canadian Office of Cultural Commerce to scrutinize Meghan's lobbying for Archewell, while the Serious Fraud Office in the UK is investigating revenue streams for her export businesses. Attorneys from Clifford Chance LLP have been greenlit to chase down libel cases and false attribution charges if Meghan tries to release old records. A palace insider noted that their patience has officially run out. The second, she claimed, the royals were meddling unethically across borders. She stopped being a family issue and became a national security concern. This mess has created a rock-solid front among the senior family members. Although King Charles keeps his distance in the public eye, behind closed doors, he has tasked Princess Anne with supervising integrity protocols for charities and Commonwealth partners. Prince Edward is coordinating with the Cabinet Office regarding any future media, dealing with past affiliations. Prince William is stepping up as the symbol of a modernized monarchy with total freedom to address the public, strike back legally, or cut ties. William's private comments, shared by top aides, were crystal clear. "We didn't ruin Meghan Markle. We just refused to let her ruin us." As big countries, corporations, and old friends turn their backs, Meghan is experiencing a slow-motion exile. Her choices look grim. 3 major global publishers have reportedly turned down her memoir, Unseen and Unbowed. Following the palace's alert, global PR agencies are refusing to represent her unless she signs full liability waivers. Her Los Angeles legal team is supposedly looking into a rebrand to dodge subpoenas related to As Ever and Archewell Canada. Worse yet, 2 ex-board members from Archewell are now working with regulators in the European Union and the United Arab Emirates. Sources say their statements might compel Meghan to defend herself in multiple countries by springtime. In only 11 days, Meghan Markle has gone from being an influential icon in fashion and philanthropy to someone dealing with 4 international suspensions, 2 pending audits, a lawsuit from the royals, and no allies left. She still has her voice, but it's fading under the pressure of lost clout, burnt bridges, and legal strictness. A former British ambassador put it plainly. Meghan made a math error. She thought the palace would keep quiet forever, but she was wrong. And when the crown talks, everyone pays attention. The Windsor family has drawn a definitive line. You can quit the institution, but you can't use it as ammunition. As Meghan goes quiet to consult her lawyers, the palace remains united and unfazed, taking back the reins not just of the story, but of their history. This chapter of the Sussex drama closes not with a bang in court, but with the cold, hard power of a crown that wouldn't break.